Oh, the internet. What do you do?
To fill the seat, in order to run, candidates must have lived for at least 2 years. They also must collect 50 signatures from voters in that ward to qualify. The deadline to run for office is April 12th. The election is set for May 2nd. This is all that is left of a building in Oktibbeha County. Volunteer firefighters responded to the fire on Self Creek Road about 5:20 Thursday afternoon. When they got there, this is what they found: smoke and flames. It took volunteers from the fire departments in Sturgis, Mabin, Central, and Adaton to put out the fire. There were no injuries, and there is no new information on the cause of the fire. Happening overnight, a series of attacks on American forces in Syria is ratcheting up tension in the region, but it could also increase tensions between the U.S. and Iran. Here is more from the White House.
President Biden took time during his trip to Canada to order an airstrike on terrorist groups in Syria. These images are believed to be the aftermath of the U.S. strike in eastern Syria, which reportedly targeted a warehouse, factory, intelligence site. The move was in retaliation for a drone strike Thursday that killed a U.S. contractor and wounded 5 American service members.
The president took a very swift action, as you saw last, retaliate against that strike, and we also hit a facility not far away that we know is being operated by the IRGC, the Quds Force in Iran.
U.S. officials confirmed there was a second attack on a U.S. base Friday, this time in eastern Syria, not far from the Iraqi border. They say the attack involved lots of rockets, but there were no American casualties. American officials say the Syrian groups that carried out the attack were affiliated with Iran's Revolutionary Guard, and the drone used in the attack was made in Iran.
We certainly don't seek a war or a conflict with Iran. That's not the goal. We're there to go after ISIS, but we have to do what we have to do to protect our people and our facilities, and that's the decision-making that the president made last night.
The U.S. Central Command, which oversees military operations in the area, said, "We are postured for scalable options in the face of any additional Iranian attacks." Syria remains locked in a civil war, which has been going on for the last 12 years. Iran is one of the few countries supporting the Syrian government. Nicole Skenga, CBS News, the White House.
Russia is Syria's biggest ally. Syrian President Bashar al-Assad just wrapped up a trip to Moscow last week where he met with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Well, they say you win more friends with honey. We'll show you where to get some locally. You're watching WCBI News.
Attention all seniors. You can now get up to $50,000 for your funeral and other final expenses, including your credit card debt, with no medical exam, starting at less than $1 a day.
Oh, honey, your dad and I can't stop talking about this baby that's coming.
We've also been thinking a lot about our future, and no matter what, we want to make sure we aren't leaving you and your family with any of our debts.
Just last week, we read that the price of a funeral can be $8,000 or more.
Wow, Jeff and I definitely would not have the money to pay for that.
And that's just a funeral. But you don't have to worry. We called, and with one phone call, we were eligible for $50 for our funeral and final expenses.
Well, that's great, but don't you need to take a medical exam to qualify? You and Mom have some health issues.
No, there's no medical exam, and we were able to get coverage right over the phone.
And our rates can never be increased. Our benefits can never be decreased. Our coverage can never be canceled.
I'm so glad you made that call.
Don't leave loved ones with your debt. Call 800-736-0145 now and see if you qualify for up to $50,000 for your funeral and other final expenses, starting at less than $1 a day. There's no medical exam, and you can be approved even if you have pre-existing health conditions. Your rates can never be increased, your benefits can never be decreased, and your coverage can never be canceled. There's no obligation. Call 800-736-0145 now. There's no paperwork paperwork, no hidden fees, and no waiting periods. And you can start coverage right over the phone, starting at less than $1 a day. Call 800-736-0145. That's 800-736-0145. 800-736-0145.
Telling your story. You're watching WCDI.
Everyone, nature and our food source depend on the business of bees, and a local beekeeper and restaurant are predicting that the bee colonies this season will produce lots of honey for our area. Ron Freeman talks with a couple of experts about producing and using local honey.
The PUDDLE family farms in Caledonia raise livestock, but they are known for their honey. As a beekeeper, Rob PUDDLE says that the benefits of bees go beyond the honey.
A lot of people like local honey because of the benefits that it helps for allergies, is what people say. A lot of people will purchase pollen that you can harvest from honeybee hives as well.
Because bees are so essential to our food supply and nature, PUDDLE offers tips to non-beekeepers to help promote healthy bee population in the area.
Really, one of the biggest things that can be done is help plant trees in your yard that are beneficial for not just honeybees, but other pollinators and beneficial insects, things that produce nectar and pollen during the times of the year when there's not much blooming.
Honey contributes to our candle industry, and it also sweetens the menus at restaurants like J. Burchard's here in Columbus.
One of the ways we use it is in our bagels. You know, there's a lot of baked goods that have honey as part of the sweetener in there, and that helps round out the flavor. So we also use that in our challah.
Yet PUDDLE says if there are any lessons to learn from our honeybees, it's hard work and teamwork.
Fascinating about how on an individual level, the honeybees are important, but what's really important is how they contribute to the whole colony, not just their own individual, needs and goals.
This afternoon, all is quiet, but storms very likely to impact most of the Deep South later on this evening. I've got the full update on the severe weather risk after the break.
It's no secret that some injury law firms use paralegals to negotiate and even settle cases. That could leave a lot of money on the table, and that's just embarrassing. At NST, we only allow skilled lawyers to cases for our clients. That's the NST way.
It's okay to let your eyes linger over the delicious buttered biscuits. Just be sure you notice the crispy, juicy, tender chicken between them, too.
Mix and match your favorite breakfast sandwiches. 2 for $4.59.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Come home to faster internet and greater savings when you switch to Sparklight's Lightning Fast Internet. Call now and connect your home for as low as $40 a month for 3 months. You'll want to stay in and stream the night away with speeds up to a gig. And whole home Wi-Fi that wows in every room. Cozy up with 99.99% reliability. Bring it all home with Sparklight Internet for as low as $40 a month for 3 months. Plus, act now and get free installation. Call us today or scan the code to speed up and save.
There's only one Mississippi, and there are thousands of lawyers in Mississippi, but there's only one Richard Schwartz and Associates.
With offices all over the state, we come to you as quickly as possible.
Protecting you from greedy out-of-state insurance companies.
Because we understand how important it is to get you the help you need immediately. It's what we do every day.
One firm, one Mississippi, one call, that's all.
Senior Medicare Patrol is a federally funded program of the Administration for Community Living. SNP's mission is to empower and assist Medicare beneficiaries, their families, and caregivers to prevent, detect, and report healthcare fraud, errors, and abuse. In Louisiana, Mississippi, and Georgia, the Senior Medicare Patrol program is sponsored by AdviseWell, Inc. Call 1-877-272-8720 or visit stopmedicarefraud.org to get more information about SNP.
Your WCDI First Alert Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Isaac Williams.
On our Friday afternoon, still looking at the potential for some significant severe weather across North Mississippi later on this afternoon, and especially into The level 1 or 4 moderate risk continues to be all in across northwestern Mississippi. Radar across the state right now, fairly quiet. That's some good news. Some showers and storms lined up on Interstate 40 from Memphis back to Little Rock, and that's connected to a strengthening line of storms just east of I-35 in Texas. All of this is part of a strengthening storm system that is moving in our direction. The latest Futurecast continues to show kind of a 1-2 punch across the region. We'll have a developing line of storms in addition to potentially some supercell type storms developing ahead of that line. Here's a look at 7 p.m. And I do think that by then we will have some supercell storms somewhere in the Mississippi Delta region tracking to the north and east. Between 7 and 9 p.m., I think that's when our risk really ramps up across northern and potentially western Mississippi. And you can see that basically we'll have a line of storms crossing the river and additional storms out ahead of that line that could be supercell producing storms that would have higher tornado potential. Here's a look at 10 p.m. And once again, we've got that line of storms and then some embedded supercell storms to the south and east of it. All of this is going to be tracking to the north and east across the region. Here is 11 p.m. We still have storms moving through the Golden Triangle at this point. I think West Point, Columbus, and Starkville probably will be seeing some pretty dicey weather between 10 and 11, maybe midnight tonight, something like that. And anywhere on this line, we have damaging wind, hail, and tornado potential. And because we have the parameters that we do later on today and tonight, some of that severe weather could be significant. The wind gusts could be over 70 miles per hour, and the tornadoes could be on the stronger side, especially if one of these longer tracked storms is able to materialize. And that's what the latest computer model is showing. Really, every run of this model has shown some degree of what this is showing, which means that you're seeing long rotation tracks that could equate to the chance for a longer tracked tornado. And so when we zoom things in and specifically looked at the tornado risk across the region, everybody has a risk tonight, but it's elevated basically for the western 2/3 of the region. So from Hamilton, Alabama to Detroit or Vernon to near Columbus to near Philadelphia, back to the north and west. That's where the tornado potential is higher, again, as storms roll in later on today. The broad timeline, still going with 5 p.m. to 2 a.m., but again, thinking really that 7 p.m. to midnight is when we'll need to be most weather aware for all modes of severe weather, I should say. And again, those supercell storms kind of getting into kind of a broken line as we go into the evening. But even in that line of storms, we'll still have the chance for a few stronger type tornadoes is not out of the question. Sunshine out there with some scattered clouds. The dark cloud there in Vernon, not going to be any sort of a rain producing cloud. We're just looking at the atmosphere continuing to get more humid and more unstable for this event later on today. It's 79 in Vernon. We've gotten to 80 in Tupelo, 80 in Carthage and Kosciuszko. The dew point temperatures are in the lower to middle 60s, and these actually will increase as we go into the rest of the evening, thanks to gusty southerly winds out there, again, in advance of the strengthening low pressure system that's back in Arkansas at the moment. No severe weather ongoing at the moment here, and for the next several hours, things should be fairly quiet. But by 7 o'clock, that rain and storm chance begins to increase. And of course, we will be here all afternoon and evening to let you know if any storm becomes severe. Tomorrow, thankfully, we'll get a good weekend day in there on Saturday, 81 degrees with sunshine. And then on Sunday, we'll have some storms coming in during the evening, followed by some drier weather and slightly cooler by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week.
WCBI First Alert Forecast is brought to you by Alpha Insurance. Call Alpha Agent Henry Payne in Pontotoc for all your insurance needs.
It's a Super Saturday at Goose Hollow Furniture. 27% off store-wide with up to 24 months, same as cash financing. Or get 33% off when you pay cash. Super Saturday, 7 big hours this Saturday at all 3 Goose Hollow Furniture locations.
Come experience the power of the cross. You're invited to experience our Far From Heaven conference. Our special guest will be Professor Paris Reagan, pastor of Crossfire Ministries of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It's all happening March 24th through the 26th. 4 dynamic services. Join us that Friday night for corporate prayer and praise celebration at 7 p.m. Saturday morning glory teaching session at 10 a.m. Saturday evening glory at 7 p.m. And Sunday morning glory at 10 a.m. We're preparing the altar and receiving the abundance. All Nations Ministries, we're changing the world through the power of the Holy Spirit.
Let it fall fresh on us. Join us in the kitchen with special guests and local chefs. Good food, where you can find it, and how to make it. In the Kitchen, Mondays on WCDI News at 5.
It's a Super Saturday at Goose Hollow Furniture. 27% off store-wide with up to 24 months same as cash financing. Or get 33% off when you pay cash. Super Saturday, 7 big hours this Saturday at all 3 Goose Hollow Furniture locations.
Telling your story. You're watching WCDI Midday.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Brady joining us from Columbus Lowndes Humane Society. It's Friday. That means Pets Without Partners. And she brings us Alice.
Mm-hmm.
And Alice, she's watching everything very closely.
She is, with her big brown eyes.
She is.
This is her first time out from the shelter.
Oh, okay.
She's been with us since November. She came in with a litter of puppies, and every puppy got adopted. And just for some reason, Alice has been passed over. People come in, they love her, they look at her, but it's just she hasn't found her right fit yet. So.
Well, we're hoping today will help. And you were saying this is kind of what she's like at the office.
Mm-hmm.
She just kind of looks at her around, takes everything in, and is good with other dogs.
She is good with other dogs. We don't know about children or cats, but she's very laid back. So we feel with just the right supervision, they can cohabitate without a problem. We estimate her age between 4 and 5 years old. So she won't get any bigger. She weighs about 25 pounds right now. At her healthy weight, she'd probably weigh between 30 and 35. She is heartworm positive, but we will treat that. We do treat that because it's nobody's fault that they came in that way. So we cover the cost of that.
Well, and speaking of costs, you're always needing donations and things at the shelter. Tell us about some of those needs right now.
So we were able to raise $40,000 at the PUDDLE.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And we are using that money to purchase food. I went and picked up about 600 pounds of dog food the other day.
Oh,
we
wow.
were completely out. We can always use cat food, kitten food, puppy food, dog food, blankets, towels, just regular everyday needs that we go through quickly. That 600 pounds of food will be replaced in about 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
So we have puppies that are eating a lot, nursing moms that eat a lot more. So.
And that also means that you are full. Too.
Yeah, we are very full, and kitten season has started. So.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, tell us about the PUDDLE. You have to be so surprised every time. I mean, I know you set this goal and you'll really punch through, but the community came through.
They really did. We started out with about $27,000 just in sponsorships.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Everybody in the community really got on board. We had about 500 or 600 attendees. The weather was not in our favor, but we had tents and bands and food and drink and great time. So
yeah, it was a little wet that day.
It was misty the entire day. I blame Isaac.
Good person to blame.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Well, go by, help them out. Columbus Lowndes Humane Society. Alice will be there waiting on you. Thanks so much, Brady. We appreciate you joining us, and we'll be right back.
Today, we're wrapping up our week of international food favorites with a dish that's off the charts good. So grab a fork and join us.
Do insurance companies make billions by paying you what's right or paying you as little as possible? Think about it. Then call Team Schwartz.
We make insurance companies pay, and we don't get paid until you do. Think about that. One call, that's all.
Attention all eligible Medicare beneficiaries. If you're on Medicare, you can now get COVID-19 tests sent to your home every month at absolutely no cost to you. That's right. Get up to 8 at-home COVID-19 rapid antigen tests delivered directly to your home for absolutely no cost, including free shipping. Just call 800-791-5108 now to get your COVID-19 tests delivered to your door at absolutely no cost to you. Don't get caught without your no-cost at-home COVID tests. Just call 800-791-5108 791-5108 right now to get your COVID-19 tests delivered right to your door at absolutely no cost to you. Just call 800-791-5108 right now. This Medicare program provides easy access to request at-home COVID-19 tests at no cost. If you're on Medicare, call 800-791-5108 right now and request up to 8 at-home COVID-19 tests each month delivered to your home at absolutely no cost to you, including free shipping. Call 800-791-5108.
Okay, everybody, let's take 10. Hey, Jerry and Darcy, come check this out. I'm on with my honey. Want to say hi?
Oh, it's actually Honey. You know who adores Honey? Darcy.
Huge honey fan. Show me what you got. You're sure Jason likes bangs? Here's what Jason likes.
I know our fiber's fast, but slow down.
So close to our customers, you might as well be in the room with us. Get the Samsung Galaxy S23 on us with customer inspired. That's C-Spire.
There are thousands of lawyers in Mississippi, but there's only one Richard Schwartz and Associates.
We understand how important it is to get you the help you need immediately. It's what we do every day.
One firm, one Mississippi, one call, that's all.
What a week we've had sharing our international.